Brad Nolan here for the 4th Annual National Night Out, here with City Attorney. Say your last name for me.
Trutanich.
Tell me about what it is that you do for the city.
Well, we do a lot. I mean, the city attorney's job is an enormous job. Let's start with the criminal side because that's probably the easiest. 70% of what Los Angeles Police Department does in terms of arrests, in terms of injunctions, in terms of service and keeping people safe, comes through the doors of my office. We prosecute about 70,000 misdemeanor cases a year. And on top of that, we handle all the gang injunction prosecutions. We monitor the gang injunctions. We write all the paper for gang takedowns almost throughout the entire county. We are, on the criminal side, we are a force to be reckoned with. We have, gang unit that prosecutes gang members. We have an environmental unit, environmental justice unit, that not only goes after polluters, but also those companies that prey on us. An environmental crime is when you patient dump, when a hospital takes someone who can't afford their bill and puts them on the street and jeopardizes not only their safety, but the safety of any other resident of this city who can't afford the expensive medical bills because they don't have insurance. We are engaged in many anti-gang programs in terms of education, and this is only on the criminal side. We do 17-200 cases, unfair business practice cases, against those businesses that will engage in unscrupulous conduct, which costs the citizens millions of dollars, such as someone sells you an insurance policy for health insurance and then refuses to live up to the terms of that policy.
Now, you've mentioned gangs a couple of times. Is that one of the biggest crime concerns that you have? If it's not, what are?
Well, I mean, from a criminal standpoint, obviously, when you have a proliferation of gangs, this is the one big export that hasn't been reduced in the city of Los Angeles. It's amazing that we in South Central we have a street named Grape Street, but yet there's a Grape Street Crip organization in Colorado, and in New York, and in the Midwest, and in the South. And we are exporting our problem throughout the United States. Back in the early '80s, this morning I gave a small talk at the National Gang Conference, and one of the people hosting that was someone that was a sergeant when I was in the gang unit back in the '80s, and the problem hasn't gotten any smaller. Kids are still looking to gangs as a surrogate to family. And we need to intervene. We're not going to arrest our way out of this problem. If you think that we're going to make arrests and we're going to have injunctions and we're going to lock up this town, I'm sorry. We need to capture our youth, but we don't need to capture them in jail. We need to capture them in school. Here's a number that's going to shake your boots. Over 70%. Over 70%, probably closer to 75, 80% of the violent felons in prison did not graduate from high school. When you have a school district which has a dropout rate approaching 60%, it's almost a one-to-one correlation that when you drop out, you're going to commit a crime and you're going to prison. We need to capture our youths in school. We need to show them that there's a roadmap someplace other than a gang, someplace other than prison. Education is the key to beating this problem. We are such a diverse society that we need to educate our society on the perils of this type of involvement.
What do events like National Night Out mean for you as a city attorney?
For me as a city attorney, this is a way for the community to make a statement to everyone that we are together in this venture of public safety. We are together as a community. We are not just neighbors, but we are a family. When you have holidays, what do families do? They gather together. Well, this is an opportunity for this neighborhood family to gather together and tell the rest of this community that we feel safe, that we're honored to be here, and that we are going to protect our own.
Tell me about the civil side of what your office does.
On the civil side, our office is an extremely large office in that we handle every single legal problem and advice for the city of Los Angeles. That means we represent not only the city council and the mayor, but we represent the police department, the fire department, and every other department in the city. When the city gets sued, it's our office that handles it. in the past, we employed a lot of outside counsel. But, you pay deputy city attorneys. You pay about 500 of them every month to come to work. And in the past, we spent, before I took office, almost $37 million on outside counsel. Last year, we spent almost 11. This year, we're at $7.5 million, and we're going down because we've put our lawyers back to work and put some bang in the buck of the payroll dollars that you as a citizen, as a resident of this city who pays taxes, pay. So we're getting good value out of it. In fact, in the 2 years that I've been the city attorney of Los Angeles, we embarked upon this new concept called the porcupine defense. On our civil cases, if you sue the city of Los Angeles. And basically, it's a very simple theory, and that is, you may eat me, but I'm not going to taste good going down. And we have been trying cases in court and using the deputy city attorneys to defend those cases. In the 2 years I've been there, we've tried over 90 cases, and we've lost less than a handful. So we have been very, very successful. We've saved the city over $300 million in 2 years. And for a department that last year had a budget of about 81 million, somewhere between 81 and 78. Last year we saved 120 million in judgments. It more than pays for itself. So I'm very, very proud of our office. I'm very proud of our civil department. I can tell you this, that this city right now is engaged in issuing bonds for the farmer's field. And there's been promises made that it's not going to cost a single taxpayer dollar. Well, the city attorney's office did not hire outside counsel to put that deal together. We're intricately involved in that discussion, and we're going to make sure that that promise is adhered to, that it has no cost to the citizens of the city, and that we get the benefit of a great NFL football team, a great stadium, and a functioning, profitable convention center.
Well, thank you very much for your time here today. Brad Nolan for National Night Out.